What is going on, everyone, and welcome to episode 15, I believe, of my beginner's guide to success in ESO. Now, in this episode, we're going to be talking about the Fighters Guild, how to level it, what every skill does, and why it's important, especially for Imperial City. As you may know, the Imperial City DLC is primarily focused around Daedra and undead enemies, so I thought the Fighters Guild was important because there's one skill right here where you use your Fighters Guild to affect Daedra and undead, and also werewolves, but mostly Daedra and undead. So your skills are going to be changed up, and I feel like some of these are important, so I remorphed everything. So I'm going to show you the pre-morph and what the morphs could be, and tell you which one I would prefer. And of course, the ultimate is the Dawnbreaker. Usually I would do Dawnbreaker smiting just because it does more damage. What it does is just cause a slam on the ground, and it's good for both PvE and PvP. So generally, most people choose smiting for PvP, and then PvE is still good too. But overall, smiting is just the slightly superior choice. All right, so let's go over with the passives. Just get these out of the way first. Intimidating Presence is for questing and for PvE content. Like if you're doing questing, sometimes they'll give you an option to intimidate the NPC. So it's just like, hey, you have to pay like 200 gold for this information. If you intimidate him, be like, nope. This also works with the Mage's Guild, the Persuasive Will. They're essentially the same thing. Persuasion and intimidation is kind of like bypassing various parts of a mission. So that's kind of helpful. I would recommend getting that pretty early on in the game, as it does save a lot of time. Alright, so Slayer increases weapon and spell damage by 9% when attacking Daedra and Undead. So it's 3% per level. I would highly recommend getting this one, simply because for everything in Imperial City is actually kind of tough. So getting this spell power and weapon damage up by a whole 9% is actually very important, and it's going to be useful later on. Alright, Banish the Wicked is grant you 9 extra ultimate when killing Daedra and Undead. Now that's very important because there's a lot of different ultimates you can use, especially when everything is pretty much Daedra in Imperial City. You're going to have like ultimates at all times, especially if you're in a group and you're just like bossing, questing, doesn't matter what you're doing, just kill stuff. And you should have an ultimate up at all times, so that's pretty good. Skill tracker, we went over this. Their abilities affect Daedra and Undead. That's also pretty good. And Bounty Hunter is kind of not that important, but it allows you to pick up bounty quests from the Fighters Guild in Cyrodiil. So if you like PvPing, you get extra quests, and it's like, while you're PvPing, you kill stuff and get more money, so why not? So now to the important part. Now, for the most part, the two skills at the top right here, Silver Bolts and Circle of Protection, I've been using pretty much for a while now. And even before Imperial City even came out, I used it because I thought the skills are good. And the two bottom skills are going to be used a little bit more often now, since this stuff is good. So Silver Bolts, what it does, it's you fire like a silver bolt. It does what it sounds like it's doing, and you do damage, and now you get to do a lot more damage because Daedra enemies are just like, when you have all the passives on, you get to do a lot of damage. So that's what it is. And the morphs are Silver Shards and Silver Leash. The Silver Leash does more damage, and you gain, or you activate again to pull a target to you. Or Silver Shards, you hit 2 additional enemies. So this one is kind of a mix. What you should choose. If you are a DPS character and you think your DPS is very good, go with Silver Shards because it's essentially hitting AoE. But if you're more like single targets, and then, or like a tank, you would deal more damage, and you activate it again to pull the target to you. So it's essentially like taunting your enemy, or if you're a tank, you just pull them towards you because that's your job. But overall, I would choose hit 2 additional enemies just because you're trying to do more DPS, but it varies on your situation. But overall, trying to do AoE as well is pretty good. Alright, Circle of Protection. It does what you think it does. It's a circle of protection. And pretty much it just casts an area on the ground. I'll just, hold on. Let's take everything out. I'll just show you what it is. I'll put all the skills on so you guys can see it and show you what it does in action. Alright, so Circle of Protection. What this does, you cause a circle on the ground. When people stand in it, it's a good thing. And then if you're playing with random peoples and you cast it, they're most likely not going to stand in it. So it's just like, why do you play with random people? But anyway, that's off the point. You gain, your allies are granted an additional 4% damage reduction against Daedra and Undead. Once again, Imperial City, everything is Daedra and Undead. So, pretty much this is going to be replacing some of your shields, assuming you aren't a sorcerer. But standing in the circle is pretty good, unless it's a red circle, then don't stand in it. Alright, so the Morphs are Turn Undead and Ring of Preservation. 90% of people use Ring of Preservation because your allies have an increased health recovery, and not dying is generally a good thing. And the damage, fears, or the damages and fears Undead and Daedra uncast. And that's not really exactly what you want. You want to like stun them, not really have them run away from you, especially if you're a melee character. So the reason why you'd be using the Circle of Protection or this one, Ring of Preservation, is just for an additional health recovery. So Turn Undead is a cool idea, but it's not really good. So Ring of Preservation is why pretty much 90% of people use it. Alright, so let's get on to these abilities. Now, you don't really see them used often now in Update 6, but in Update 7, when Imperial City comes out, I feel like it's going to be used a little bit more, simply because your abilities affect Daedra and Undead. So, alright, what this does is invoke your expertise in anatomy, the enemy behavior, give your attacks 15% to cause an additional 2,000 damage, and an additional 4% chance against all Undead and Daedra. So, killing Undead and Daedra refreshes the effect duration, so it's pretty much like instant cast and unlimited cast. Alright, so Evil Hunter and Camouflage Hunter. It's very 50-50 on what you want to pick. Your Evil Hunter gives a chance to restore stamina on attacks and deals additional damage when stealth. So if you're a Nightblade like I am, you would want Camouflage Hunter. If you are a stamina-based character, you would want Evil Hunter. So in my case, as a Magic Nightblade, or just a Nightblade in general, I would choose Camouflage Hunter because most of my attacks are comboed, and they're pretty much in stealth, so doing like a fuck ton of damage while in stealth is pretty good. But if you're a stamina class, like a Stamina Templar, Stamina Dragon Knight, or even a Stamina Nightblade, I would probably choose this one. But for me, as a Magic Nightblade specifically, I would do Camouflage Hunter. Let's see if I can even... Yeah. If you were like stealth... Nope, never mind. But that's what it looks like. Alright, Trap Beast. Set a sharpened blade trap at your location. When triggered, the trap deals 1,000, almost 1,100 magic damage, immobilizes your enemy for 6 seconds, and grants a major force, which increases your critical damage by 12%. It also burns Undead and Daedra for an additional almost 3,000 damage. It's pretty much a trap. It sounds exactly what it does. So, the options for the Morphs are really questionable. The one over here is Lightweight Beast Trap. What it does is increases the radius where it can be placed up to 28 meters away, and Rearming Trap rearms once after firing. So pretty much if you want DPS, you're going to be going with Rearming Traps, but if you're trying to like set an AoE for your team, then you would put Lightweight Beast Trap. In my case, I'd go Rearming Traps just because I like DPS, and this is what it does. You put a little thingy down. If an enemy walks in it, then good, you do a lot of damage. So I guess we could go test their skills out a little bit. Let me see if I have my thingy. Nope. I think I can actually switch it. Hold on. where assassination is. I forgot which one was it. Where you go into shadow. Oh yeah, Dark Cloak. Just for demonstration purposes, I'll show you this. I don't know if this is a good example just because things just die so easily. Yeah, that's what it looks like. But for the most part, these are all like stamina based abilities, so I wouldn't really use them as much. But if you are stamina focused, then this should be very good for you. And preferably, if I were to choose and you don't have enough slots, what I would pick is probably Camouflage Hunter, Silver Shards, and possibly Rearming Traps if you have the chance. But Silver Shards is very important, so is Camouflage Hunter. And with the passives, you should get all of them for the most part, except for Bounty Hunter. So overall, I hope you learned something and enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give it a like, and if you're new, feel free to subscribe. I do upload videos 7 days a week, so hopefully you enjoyed this and would like to see more content. So yeah, have a fantastic day. Also, if you would like to see the playlist for more ESO guides, check the link in the description, and there's everything you can check out right there. See you guys later.